Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Just got into motorcycle stuff recently, completed my rider course, and bought a Honda VTX 1300 2005. I didn't have a lot of time to look it over before I bought it because I didn't really know how to ride it. I got it and found some issues and started to fix them. So there's bound to be issues over the time that I need to dig into and fix. So one of those is with the ignition control module, where there are wires that are prone to break. And when these wires break, that can control how the engine runs and can cause issues. Now, this ultimately wasn't the fix that I needed for this particular bike. I had issues with a vacuum leak and my diaphragm. This was an issue nonetheless that needed to be fixed. So here you can kind of hear how the bike sounds at a higher idle, probably not the correct idle, but a higher idle and a lower idle that really shows kind of the sputter that I was getting. That may have partially been due to this ICM module wire break, or could have been just because of the diaphragm. This is the fix for it. So first thing we had to do was remove the seat, and on top of the battery you will see the ignition control module, the ICM, which is that gray box with the black connector and the wires coming out. The picture here shows the two pieces separated, connector and ICM. You'll have to pull off the connector side to get access to the wires that you need to see. But what you're looking for is these little insulation breaks and wire breaks that are coming to the ICM. Those two wires right there, the black and the green, are particularly problematic for a lot of people, and I replaced both of those as part of this project. So you can kind of see a couple other pictures that show issues. That one, the black wire was actually broken a little deeper in. It was harder to tell, but I went ahead and replaced that and extended it. There you can see the green wire completely broken off after I moved the harness around a little bit. There's not a ton of slack here, so it can be harder to work with. Sometimes you have to break open that bundle a little bit to get more slack. This is what the connector looks like. Kind of shows the pins and how they slide in there and sit. And then if you see at the bottom of the connector, or the bottom of each pin hole, there is a small wedge that locks the connector into place. This is what you're going to be pushing against in order to release the connector from the harness to be able to pull that wire out when you need to replace it. So that's what you're really going to be going after, is in this image the bottom part of each one of those holes. You can kind of see some of the metal pin receptacles in there. You're going to be looking at the bottom. This kind of just shows the other side. This is the ICM and what it looks like when it actually plugs into the harness or connector. You got to go online and find these pins. Luckily, VTXOA forum, this is a common problem, and there were some people that had talked about it and some sources where they had found stuff. BareAssChoppers.com was the name of the site, which looks like it maybe has changed to Cycle Terminal. Either way, Cycle Terminal has what I needed, and I was able to order the equipment from there. So if you look on the side, look at connectors. We'll scroll down to the bottom of the page and we'll see system specific connectors, the ECU ECM connectors. That's the one we want to click on, which will take us to the VTX connector. Scroll down a little more, there's our 22 pin ICM connector that we're looking for. Click on that guy. We'll see there's two versions you can get here, gray and the black. I really don't know the difference. I just bought the black one. If you actually buy the $14.95 kit, it comes with, it says 20 to 24 terminals, wire seals, and connector seals. So it's supposed to come with everything basically you need, plus a spare connector. You can order the pieces separately, so like you could come down here and order the the seals for the wires that you're going to need when you pull that wire out. You're going to need this crimper for those specific connectors. The connectors aren't as easy to buy. I think they come with the kit, but if you want to buy them separately, you can also buy them on the site as well. You have to look for that Sumitomo, I can't even say it, 9040 terminals. Those terminals and the crimper are key to really make this work. The other thing that's going to be helpful, they have some pen tools that help you remove those terminals, or they call them terminal extraction and removal tools. You can see those here. They were, not very expensive. I think you can get the set, looks like, for $12.95. Well worth it. They came in use in getting the old terminals out, so I would recommend a set of those as well. Guys were easy to work with, shipped my stuff right away. Probably took about a week. I got my parts in hand. I use the pin extractors to help me push out those pins, release them, and then basically cut off what was left of the black one and the green one. And then got some new automotive wire, extended those wires. You can see the solder here. Then we got a little heat shrink on there, cover up those solder joints. I left myself quite a bit of tail in order to be able to extend those in the future if I need to. Then here are the new crimps, which the crimp tool worked fantastic that I showed previously. This is definitely the tool you want to use. I mean, don't try and bang these out with a hammer or something. It's not going to work the way we need to. So on the side there of that crimp, or that connector, you can see the little L. That's what hangs on the connector when you push it into the socket. That little wedge we were talking about earlier, that's what holds that connector in there. And then here's kind of a close-up as well on that connector where that wedge shape is, and that's what holds it in place, and that's what you have to push down to remove the terminal as well. I've got a little video here of putting those back in place. Once you get them lined up correctly and into the socket, you'll hear a click when they seat, but you can see kind of how the pin needs to go, or where the little L needs to go with reference to where how the connector is arranged. Slide that in and it'll connect in there. And then you can see in the video as well, I've got the new rubber plugs that helps seal up the pins so there's no water causing corrosion getting in there. So push those up into the ICM connector, and then that's basically it. Once you get those extended, you tuck it back down and plug it into your ICM, and you're ready to go. Common fix. I know it's been described many times in the forums, but I don't think I've ever seen a video on it, and so I wanted to put that together. Good luck.